Welcome back to Stone Blue Airlines. Today we're going to be doing a review on the RC700D 32 channel 5.8 gigahertz. Boy, that's a mouthful. Diversity monitor. We're going to go through kind of what comes in the box, how to set it up, the basic features of it. We got this sent to us by Banggood.com, and they wanted us to check out the monitor, and that's what we're going to do today. So we've already done the unboxing. There's nothing really special about the box. It's a beautiful green color, and it's got everything that you need in the box to get going. What I found with this this monitor overall, the first impressions usually mean a lot. And right out of the box, it's packaged well. It looks like a good quality monitor, just out of the box. What I really like from professional video production is you need to have a screen hood. And this one just pops open really easy, lines up, and then slips down in place. So especially for FPV, this is absolutely essential. You could make a modification if you had one from another unit and you want to put it on, but what I really like is once the thing is on, you can leave it in place, drop it down. It's going to stay nice, small, and compact. Now there's something very important after you get this portion kind of added onto the screen that you're going to want to do. It is a diversity setup. And there's really no point in having a diversity setup with the exact same antennas because they're both going to do the same thing. So what we're going to do is we're going to take these off, and then I want you to find the closest trash can, and you're going to throw these away because you're never ever going to use them again unless you want to test and have it in the house. And we've got a trash can right here, so we're going to drop those off. Next, I'm going to recommend that you pick yourself up let's say if you're going for a VAS antenna, you want to do a Mad Mushroom. If you're going to do a setup here, you're going to put a circular polarized antenna, and then we're going to add, this is an old stock, we've got a 5-turn helical. So first thing you want to do is go ahead and change these out. So now we have a diversity setup with an antenna system that's actually going to be diverse because we've got a helical that's going to look at our range flying, and then we've got our whip antenna that's going to be looking all around us. So for flying in close, this antenna is going to be getting a lot of hits. If we start to go out farther range from us, this antenna is going to start getting all that signal coming back. And now we have a nice diversity setup on this. This is 32 channels, so it's going to cover Boss Cam and it's going to cover Fat Shark, which is great. And what we need to do is we need to get it powered up. And I want to show you a couple things that, one, I like, two, I don't. So let's look at the back. All right, so on the back of the unit, we've got what looks like an internal battery of some sort, right? That would be our assumption. But to open the unit up, realize that there's nothing inside. So this is an externally powered unit completely. Now, it will take up from a 2S, I think, to a 6S setup. But if you look at this bay for the battery, I'm gonna take a 1300, which we've got laying around, just for an example. And cover is not going to fit back on. I've already done some reading on this and looked at, we sell an accessory battery as well, one of our jet fuels, and it won't fit inside. Now we've got an accessory setup so that you can power and it'll work great. It'll sit in the bay, but you pretty much have to ditch the back cover to use this. So again, my thought is, what was the purpose of putting this in if you weren't going to do a battery? And if you're not going to also have a cover that can put another battery in, it's just kind of, again, a useless setup. They could have just left it blank and a power cable on the back, and like we all like to do, just throw some Velcro on. So what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and put a battery in here, and then once we power that up, that's set up. But secondary, we also have a DC 12-volt input. So then my question is, why do we have this secondary one when we have the backside? I'm kind of unsure of why they end up throwing that in. So now we have a backup in case the other backup doesn't do what it's supposed to do. On our other side, something I want to touch on, we've got AV in, AV out, USB for updates. I don't know how often they're going to be doing updates. I find you buy this stuff and they never update it. And then we've got SD card. So this is also a built-in DVR, which is great. So if you're flying, not only can you fly, you can see, you have a great time, you can record that flight. Let's say you want to take an internal you got a different source, you want to just dump it in, you got a different receiver, you can also do that as well with the supplied cables. So everything is nice that comes with the kit. My first initial biggest hang up is you're going to have to make some adapters if you're running Deans or XT60s to kind of pair this up. This isn't the correct one, but with the JST setup to basically get everything up and running. Probably not a bad idea to check your battery before you do this. 1300 doesn't seem to last too long on this. Had it out for a couple test flights. So let's go ahead and get it back mounted up. I'm gonna get it powered up and we're gonna go through what kind of features you have inside. All right, so we're ready to start powering the system up. We're gonna go through that. Again, so we've got our battery in the back. All we're gonna do is just gonna connect our JSTs, or if you have the side voltage connector, you can do that as well. So we'll see Sky Zone, screen pops up the little logo. I'm gonna also show you just for the sake, so we've got that set up. I'm gonna go ahead and plug this in. I'm not gonna set up another battery. We're just gonna disconnect the one we have. I'm now gonna plug it into the side, and now we've got power again, all right? So don't quite understand what that is unless it's like some accessory thing that they were trying to do. But you know, the manual doesn't have a whole lot and basically doesn't go into a lot of detail into the rest of the stuff. It will run up to 28 volts input, so that's pretty wild, up to a 6S. Don't know why you would be powering it with that big of a battery, but you can do it. All right, this was something else I got out of the box on this one. I had issues with this particular connector. Actually, if you moved it funny, it'd power everything down. So we're gonna go back to the other setup. You want to be careful on that, especially with FPV. You want to test all of your gear on the ground, make sure everything's working. Honestly, sometimes do the rattle, like shake the stuff, move stuff around, make sure stuff doesn't have some kind of intermittent issue, because you don't want to get to the field, start flying in the air, you know, a light breeze hits the cable, and all of a sudden you don't have any video anymore. I've already got this set up for NTSC. The menu right here, we've got our diversity. So this is our antenna that's working right now, and our helical should switch over. If I kind of block, sometimes it'll kind of blip. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna run through the menu setup. It's pretty straightforward. You can do loop recording, LCD full screen, which I already have set up, pretty straightforward. LCD brightness, battery type you can set. What we actually found under battery type is we went to ignore, because we were getting constant issues with it saying that the battery voltage was low, even though it wasn't. So might just recommend doing that and put your own beeper on the back. TV standard, NTS or PAL. Beep, I turned it off. You don't need it. And then you can go back, set date, time, all that fun stuff. Pretty much that's it. Format, once you put your SD card in, you're gonna wanna go ahead and format. And then we can also see memory info here to see how much memory we have. So if you've been recording a lot, we've been doing a lot of flying, may want to go ahead and check that before we do a nice big epic flight and make sure we're actually going to get it recorded. Nothing worse than going through, shooting a gap, doing that, and then realize, oh gosh, you don't have the footage. You can only brag but so far. What I love about this is it's very straightforward, very easy to use. We're just going to hit record. The OK and record button, we see our record is happening down here. It's got our time and date stamp. Take that off, it does show our voltage down here. It doesn't seem to be 100% accurate as far as the voltage is concerned. SD card will also give a little reading as percentage of use. And then dip switch. I'm not sure why they went this route again. Everything's moved to digital, and when you've got this, it would be really nice just to have a digital tuner built in so you can flip between the channels. But you've got a small little dip switch here, and find your channel. Sometimes it's just honestly flipping around. They do have a little guide that tells you what frequency it's on. We're on channel 3 for Fat Shark, and as you can see, great clear video. So we've been recording here for a minute. If we want to go back and see our video, we're gonna hit playback. Oh, still recording. Let's hit playback. All right, so the playback comes back up, and I think we just hit OK. Yep, there we go. So our video is there. It's now playing back in what we just were recording. So it's really straightforward, it's easy to use, and it just seems to work. So I really like that. There's only a couple of hang-ups with it. The battery is the big issue, and I think they made a new running change where it's actually got an on-off switch. So right now you do manually have to undo the battery, not a big deal. If you can pick one up, I definitely think it's a nice monitor. We're gonna go ahead and take it outside. We're gonna get a spark up in the air on 5.8. We're gonna record some flight footage, and we're gonna show you what the DVR footage looks like from there. Guys, I hope you've enjoyed the review today. You got to see some of our flight footage just there, and you know, it's a great setup. You may have a set of these Fat Shark goggles, but I really think you should invest in a good quality screen, because not only can you use it at the flight field, you can use it as a family monitor if your wife or kids want to watch when you're flying FPV. You can drop the goggles, they've got a secondary one. It also works fantastic just in the shop when you're troubleshooting, you're setting up gear, and it's not real convenient to keep dropping on the goggles, checking wiring and stuff that way. Everything's got quirks. But do the quirks outweigh the positives on the monitor? Absolutely not. This is a good monitor, it's well made, the functionality is really easy, the menu's straightforward and simple, and it works. So test your product, test the stuff that comes in, make sure that you don't have any issues like that connector. Banggood, I appreciate you guys sending this product in for us to check out and review. Guys, if you're interested, check out their site. They've got it listed. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you next time.